Ever wonder how the biggest sportswear brand on the planet could accidentally create its own worst enemy? Well, that's exactly what this story is about. It's how Nike's grand strategy completely backfired, and in doing so, opened the door for a small Swiss company with a pretty weird idea involving a garden hose. This is the incredible, unlikely rise of On Running. So let's just get right to it. How in the world did a garden hose end up creating a $28 billion headache for a giant like Nike? I know, it sounds absolutely crazy, but this humble piece of rubber, it's right at the heart of our story. A perfect example of how one small, clever idea can shake up an entire industry. Okay, so our story doesn't start in some high-tech corporate lab or a fancy boardroom. Nope. It starts in a backyard with a very frustrated athlete. This is the garden hose breakthrough. The problem was one that runners everywhere know all too well. Olivia Barnhart, the founder and a former Ironman champ, was chasing the Holy Grail, a shoe that gave you a landing as soft as a cloud, but then, a split second later, an explosive, powerful takeoff. Nothing on the market could do both. So his solution was, let's just say it was brilliantly simple. He literally took a garden hose, sliced it into little pieces, and started gluing them to the bottom of his running shoes. And this scrappy DIY prototype, that was the birth of what would eventually become their famous CloudTec technology. And you know what? The idea took off like a rocket. The company officially launched in January 2010. Just 1 month later, they'd already won a major innovation award. And then only 2 years after that, an athlete wearing their shoes was standing on top of the Olympic podium with a gold medal around her neck. The proof was right there, right from the start. But here is the massive plot twist. Bernhard used to be a Nike-sponsored athlete himself. So, naturally, the first place he took his garden hose idea was Nike. And they said no. They passed. Just think about that. That single no forced the founders to build this thing all on their own, and it would end up changing everything.
So, while On is busy building its company from the ground up, the giant in the room, Nike, is about to make a huge gamble, a massive strategic pivot that would, believe it or not, create the perfect opening for this brand new rival.
Back in 2020, Nike launched this big initiative they called Consumer Direct Acceleration. Now, that sounds like a lot of corporate jargon, but the plan was actually pretty simple. Cut out the middlemen, the retail stores, and sell everything directly to customers online. It was all about controlling the brand experience and, let's be honest, making a lot more profit on each sale. The strategy really boiled down to 3 key things. First, go all in on their own website and apps. Second, do everything possible to maximize those super profitable direct sales. And third, and this is the part that changed everything, dramatically cut ties with thousands and thousands of their retail partners. By pulling their products out of all those stores, Nike created what you could call a massive wholesale vacuum. I mean, for decades, they were the main event, the anchor brand on every shelf. All of a sudden, that prime real estate was empty, and retailers were left scrambling to find something new to fill that huge gaping hole. And this is exactly where our 2 stories collide. That giant vacuum Nike just created, well, it was about to get filled. And there was a new brand with a totally different way of doing things that was perfectly positioned to rush right in.
The brand On sells premium-priced athletic wear and is quickly gaining ground on legacy competitors.
The way the shoe looks is like nothing else on the shelf.
Honestly, the difference between the 2 strategies was like night and day. While Nike started treating its longtime retail partners like they were the competition, On did the exact opposite. They saw retailers as essential allies, and they built up trust and amazing relationships right as Nike was burning those very same bridges. And you can see the results in black and white. Take a huge retailer like Dick's Sporting Goods. The shift was just dramatic. As Nike's footprint on the shelves got smaller and smaller, On's share grew at an absolutely incredible rate. Retailers weren't just adding a new option. In many cases, they were directly replacing Nike with On. So just as On was capitalizing on this perfect retail opportunity, another massive piece of the puzzle fell into place. Something that would take the brand from being a favorite among serious runners to a global lifestyle powerhouse. In 2019, the tennis legend himself, Roger Federer, joined the company. And this is key. He wasn't just a paid spokesperson.
He came in as an investor, a real partner. This was a total masterstroke. His Roger line of lifestyle sneakers immediately gave the brand huge credibility way beyond the running world, opening them up to a whole new, fashion-forward audience. So what happens when you combine On's breakthrough innovation, Nike's massive strategic blind spot, and the star power of Roger Federer? You get a perfect storm that didn't just shake things up, it permanently reshaped the entire competitive landscape. And the consequences became impossible to ignore. In June of 2024, after a pretty rough earnings report, Nike lost a jaw-dropping $28 billion in market value in a single day. The market had spoken, and it was a clear vote of no confidence in their big strategy. And on the flip side, during that same period when Nike was taking these hits, On's revenue exploded by over 300%. I mean, you just can't get a more dramatic contrast than that. On's own financials really tell the full story here. You can see that back in 2021, the company was actually still losing money. Fast forward to 2024, and they're bringing in over $2.5 billion in revenue and are seriously profitable. Their bet on retail partnerships and expanding the brand, well, it paid off. Big time.